Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. Today we are here in Oranjestad
Yes.
and we are going to talk about the AruParking and also a project by the government for the Wilhelmina Straat. So a lot of information in this video. We are, more or less in the next to the main street, more or less.
Yeah.
We're gonna walk parts of it and also part of the Wilhelmina Straat. So without further ado, let's go. And we'll start with some areas that you might not know about in Oranjestad. Some of the back streets, which I also like to show. And we are together, of course, on doing this walk on a day that is actually a holiday. So you might be watching this further up during the weekend. And the reason that I mention is that you will notice that it will be quiet for the most part in the city of Oranjestad, the capital of Aruba. But I do like these streets. They have some of the old houses and old buildings that I know that Marleen also likes a lot.
A lot. I love all the colors.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And I do believe this walk starts at, what was the street name again? Do you remember? Van Waalbeekstraat of zoiets?
Yeah. Ik denk dat je het goed zegt. You said
Yeah.
correct. Yes.
Yeah, I do believe. Beautiful building or house. Not sure. Now, we already also started to see the areas where the auto parking is. But unfortunately, a lot of it is still very confusing. So if Marleen may permit me just briefly.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of the boxes. And normally you would have to, when you park your car, make sure it's in between the lines. So don't cross the lines. And then mark the number. For example, L37. What is the problem? Well, a lot of problems with our parking still. Because if you see this box, for example, Marleen, there is no number.
No.
So you would be afraid, you would be afraid to park here, in fear that you might get a fine. Now, talking about the fine, if you do not pay, then the fine, everything from what I understand. So in this video, I'll go as clear as possible. But if I do make some mistakes, please, my excuses. The fine I heard is 75 florins. It's more or less like $42. And so you want to avoid that. You do have to go and pay it at their offices. Now this is the back part of what's this restaurant again?
Een tapas restaurant. Amante?
Well, on this side, it's a very beautiful. So we can see the name of the.
Waalbeekstraat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If we can take a brief peek back here, I'll be getting the name in just a bit. So let's see where we are. We are at the back of the Taste My Aruba. And why not try to go in briefly? Maybe not entirely. Yeah, beautiful. Don't. I haven't used this back door myself. I have eaten here. I just had a blank of the name of the restaurant. And also we can start showing the machines where you need to pay for your parking. So these are the machines. Pay for your space with Pay Away. Pay Away is an app, is a local app by Setar. There are some information. As I am exploring it myself, I see Monday to Saturday and it's from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. 30 minutes, 1 florin, which is around 60 cents, and then 2 florins for 1 hour. So let's say you're staying for like 2 hours, you would have to pay like 4 florins. Now it does take coins, local coins, not the square one, but the local coins, and credit card, and also some of the local cards. And once you put the information in, you will get the ticket. You'll take it with you. Not really necessary to put them in the car or on the dashboard. That's not necessarily important, but you do have to not lose it, you know. And on a day like today, it's a public holiday, so those are also exempt, apart from Sundays that you don't need to pay. Now, as far as the parking itself, there was a lot of debate, because on some machines it was put that it was $1, or $1, $2, etc. And the minister said, no, it's written in dollars, but it's actually florins. And then someone tried to pay it from the media, and they were charged dollar amounts. So they took from their account dollar amounts. And that, I don't know if it's been resolved. So I would suggest, to be on the safe side, to have your local Aruban florins, the round ones, the large round ones,
Yep.
and use those for the payment of AruParking. And yeah, it would be much easier. Oh, this is a nice tree.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Nice shade. Now we are at more or less where the end of the main street is, or another, where it's at the Ooststraat, which is the East Street. If I translate it, we'll take a look back first at the main street, completely empty except one guy walking with his bag, probably food or something. And this is where the tram usually makes the turn, heads that way, and comes back this way. We're gonna walk in this direction now. The main street is also called the Calle GF Betico Cruz. We've talked about him on many episodes and many videos already, who he is. And yeah, one of the issues that's been going on is that the tram has been not going all around the streets. So they had a project, I think at the end of the year more or less, where the tram was not coming to this part of the street anymore. Supposedly for a project, they wanted to do some research, maybe if it's working, maybe it's not. You saw some cars going by. Cars were not allowed for quite a few years. Were not allowed to transit anymore through the main street. It used to be like a long time ago, many years ago. Now it's not anymore. And yeah, so the tram's supposed to bring tourists, especially from the cruise ships, but also just tourists just in general, to this area of the main street. By the way, I love Hanchi Timbu, Promechines Criador de Cabrito Are de Fundé. So this side walk, you could say, is dedicated to the Chinese that work at the Fontaine area. I was looking where Marlene went. So this is, for example, the Chubatu beer. Some of you might know it. This is where you get all of the international beers. They do claim to have, I do believe, around 100 type of beers, international beers. And yeah, this is pretty much the square we are walking where pretty much the tram would stop. This where we just walked right here. This is where you would stop and wait for it. So they would disembark here and check out. There is the cafe that I made right around this corner that I made also a video about a while back.
Yeah, and with the Dundee.
Yeah,
We
we
were
had
here too.
yeah we had so for New Year, that's a good point. Marlies reminding me about the Dundee music. That's the Dundee music we have at the end of the year. We went live. I think it
Yes.
was 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, and yeah, that was pretty fun. That was
Yeah.
pretty fun. And here also on Friday evenings, we have public dancing. So where we are walking, also there is some music here at Gisby's place. Most of the folks that do come here are, you know, like 60 and up, more or less, let's say,
Yeah.
but up to maybe even 90,
Yeah.
you know. And we should come do that one of these Fridays, by the way.
Good idea.
And also some events going on here. Like we have at this plaza, we have like food truck events.
Yep.
I know we came to the Curacao Tourism Board, had a large event here.
And the old cars.
The old cars, exactly, for the King's birthday.
Yes.
Yeah, so a lot of things going on here
Yeah.
to try to promote this part of the city. The AruParking is debatable if it has helped or not. Folks coming to shop. The idea of the government has been to promote folks locally and tourists to have an easier access for parking, even though it's paid, but you would have a lot more options. On paper, it looks easy and it looks good, but in reality, a lot of the stores, a lot of the buildings here are saying that it's not really working. It keeps people away, and it was already quiet in the main street.
Yeah.
I know a lot of tourists decide and choose not to come to the main street because of the AruParking being so complicated.
Yeah.
They used to have those yellow, how you say it, spaces,
Parking, yeah,
which
parking
you could not park.
No.
And a lot of the information is just so confusing, even for us locals. But let that not be a burden for you to not come and check out the city. I think it's beautiful. The main street looks beautiful actually, and it needs. You need to get out of your hotel and beach and just check that part also out. I really believe in it,
Yeah.
and I really believe in the area of San Nicolas, and go through, you know, all of the rides through Santa Cruz, Savaneta. There are a lot of other places on the island that you can check out. So let that not stop you. A lot of great food options also, and such. So let me see if I have forgotten. There are part of the confusion also for the AruParking is that there are, for example, I don't know how good you guys can see it, but I'm gonna put this, which is a map where there are some exemptions, and that to me is part of the problem. They should eliminate the numbers and the machines to make it clear, not just for tourists, but also for the locals, where you can park for free or not. It's easy to come and say it on TV or in the news, etc. But the reality of it is that it's confusing. It keeps being very confusing. There are also for special needs parking, but as far as I know, you do have to be a local to use them. I don't know what the policy is if you are in special needs with your car, and yeah, I would have to check with them maybe, but if anyone needs that information, I try to get it. And let's see if I have forgotten anything. If time permits, we will try to do a part of the process of the machine itself. So even though we don't need to pay today, but I don't mind spending, you know, maybe one floor and to check it out. Now, you probably have been wondering why we are walking in this area and see the construction of this part of Oranjestad. It's because the government is also doing a revamp, starting with this particular street, doing a revamp of the area, making it more beautiful, and thus improving the street of Wilhelmina. Also made a video there a few months ago, and a lot of people liked it because I showed a lot of places where many of you were unfamiliar, and even for folks that haven't been to Aruba, or have been actually to Aruba many times, did not or were not aware of how many good restaurants that are already located along the Wilhelmina. So at the end of this video, I'll link that video, so make sure you watch that one as well. But some of them, and probably the most popular one, is the El Gaucho, which is the Argentine grill. You got the bits and cheeses here, which is mostly like a breakfast place, more or less. And you got the Olivia, you got the Wilhelmina, and many others. So part of the project is to continue. So this is the Wilhelmina. So this continues towards the Renaissance and the Zara, for example, department store. Let us walk on the on the paved way. You got a beautiful park here. This for the locals who might remember, that's where the Brinchies was situated, the hardware store. And you got restaurants back here, the Wilhelmina, as I mentioned, etc. And yeah, you also have here medicine school, Nucleus University School of Medicine. And this is pretty much where we started. But now on the front side, the Taste My Aruba, which was also a building of the B.J. Arends and Sons, or also locally known as the Brinchies. Now I do see that the Taste My Aruba is open for lunch. For those who are interested, take a brief look inside at the beginning of the video. This is on the other side of things. Very nice property. And they used to be closer to the Renaissance, but are now, have since moved here. And here is probably one of Marlene's favorite.
Yes, definitely.
Don't know if it's number one, but certainly up there with
The top three.
top three. Yes,
Yeah.
the Suikertuin. We have
The food is good, but also the places.
the food,
Beautiful.
the place, the service.
They have a garden inside where you can sit
Yeah.
outside. You can sit inside and outside.
Correct.
But it's beautiful with the old tree, and yeah, it's super nice to be there every time.
Absolutely. So I'm looking now for one of those parking meters, which just now I don't see anyone. Now you do have to look for them along the route. This is also a place where I featured, by the way, in my, so this one, the cupcake garden. What can you get with $10
Yeah.
or in Aruba? And that was the last place I visited. I see, I always said the Wilhelmina has a lot of potential. So you see these buildings still have that old type architecture with it. And opened recently.
So nice with
Yeah.
plants.
Yeah.
Wow. Wood tied
Opened recently is also this just ahead distillery, and which we hope we'll look at this one. Very simple, but I like those type of. Yeah, so hopefully we will be visiting this one at some point as well and making a vlog about it. Oh, so we finally got a one of those parking machines. So let's just say we are going to park at L70 just for the sake of it. Let's see if some of these machines have been known to not work, by the way. And we'll probably be told by someone that they're not working, that you should not be paying. But that's not the point today. We're gonna try to pay. So it says we press the green to start and then select language. Number 2, select language. We continue with the green. Nope. Now we go back. So we're gonna put L 7 0 and then continue.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 75 cents, and we're gonna confirm. We're gonna put one of these with a king's face, one of those Aruba florins. We're gonna put it in, and then we're gonna press continue once again. And it's printing a ticket. And you'll take this. And let's take a look at it. This is what you'll get. Welcome to Aruba. Thank you. Expire time. And fee paid. Right, so this is.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
So this, yeah. Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you for
thank you.
staying. Have a nice day.
So,
Thank you.
so just as I thought, folks will tell you not to pay on Sundays and public holidays. There won't be any public holiday for now, but at least we gave you an example of more or less how the machine works.
Yep.
And
Bit kind that you say it.
yeah, very, very nice gentleman that's insisting don't pay. By the way, just for your information, this used to be the old police station for many years, and they have just moved closer to the port. Maybe that's worth throwing it in here. They are also not situated here anymore. Used to see a lot of the police cars parked in this area. I think for now it's more or less what we wanted to talk to you guys about, the AruParking, and also the hopefully construction here takes a long time, so be pending of like a revamp of the Wilhelmina. I'm looking forward to it. I do hope that they don't only do certain blocks, but they do the whole street going forward. Mm-hmm. For example, there has been you know, a rebuilding or refurbishing of an old building near the what's it?
Green one.
Yeah, the green one.
Um,
The what's it called in English? I'm thinking of the English, but by the Censo in either case. And yeah, also it's a street that might in the future have more interest for you, especially as a tourist,
Yeah.
than
I
ever
hope so.
before, and
Yeah.
maybe even more than the main street. In my opinion, the main street should also change a little bit to more food related, maybe museums or other things, but it's still a lot of shops.
Yeah.
A lot of them have closed, but please support the local shops, and I really, really appreciate it if you do. Thumbs up to you by clicking on this video. Be pending for the link to the Wilhelmina video, and nothing further.
No. See you next time.
See you next time, guys.
Enjoy your day.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
One, two, three, four.